I know that guy.
We are so jazzed to have Tysen Knight here live with us. Live with us. And that's not a Zoom background. That is actually a background of his art. Am I not right?
Yes, you're correct.
Well, let me tell everyone all about you a little bit. Okay. Mind if I just boast a little bit about you?
No problem. No problem.
Tysen Knight's work is inspired by popular culture and street art, including the work of artists Jean-Michel Basquiat and Keith Haring. You know, Tysen's art has its roots on the streets of South New Jersey. That's Jersey. And then later in California, blurring the lines between street art and fine art. Knight created a series of painted benches, yes, in Palm Springs with the theme Urban Desert Palms and Icons. The icons include Garland, Warhol, Basquiat, Haring, Frida Kahlo, and Lucille Ball. Knight partnered with the Palm Springs Unified School District and Boys Art Mentorship Program, where his brand of street art is to inspire and mentor at-risk youth. In March 2020, Tysen received the Exceptional Community Leader Award in Palm Springs. Please welcome the ultra-talented, uber-talented, incredible artist, our own Tysen Knight.
Wow, Jeff, thank you for that. It's incredible, man. I appreciate it. I'm honored for that.
No, we are honored. We are honored. And this is something where I really want to get into it because doesn't everyone think this is a cool vibe today? I think this is a cool vibe. So let's jump right into it, Tysen. When did you know you wanted to be an artist?
As a young boy, or maybe around 9 years old, I would my mother and father would buy me coloring books and crayons. That's when they used to have like the big 64 pack of crayons and have a sharpener on and you can sharpen the crayons.
I remember.
And, yeah, I'm aging myself, okay. So I would get these coloring books and I would color, and I discovered that I was able to shade and use dark areas as well with the crayons. So my parents looked at it and was like, that's pretty good. He's able to stay in the lines. You're able to use shade and dark areas. At that time, I knew nothing about art or shadows or lights or any of those things. I just instinctively just, had that natural ability to create that way. And so my parents said, hey, you do something art you want to explore? I said, yeah, definitely like to explore art, So my parents was very encouraging, and they put me in some art lessons, some private art lessons. And so at the time I was from 9 to about 14 years of age. That's what I was doing. And when I got
and here you are today. And here you are today, creating some of the most coolest pieces that people can not only see, but also relax on in our city. Yes. What inspired you? I mean, you can work your work and you could work anywhere in the world, but what makes this beautiful oasis your home for your creativity?
Well, actually, how I discovered Palm Springs was through my fiance at the time. She was from Palm Springs. I was in LA doing work, and we met through a mutual friend, and I would come out to visit, and I just fell in love with the city. And I was like, wow, I never knew about Palm. I was a small boy from New Jersey, so I really didn't know too much about Palm Springs. The only thing I knew about California was Los Angeles. So I was like, wow, this is an incredible place. And unfortunately, we didn't last, but I was able to just rediscover my art again and just really expand it. And I was fortunate enough that the city of Palm Springs embraced me and my creativity. And it's been a roller coaster ride ever since. And I'm just so thankful that I was afforded the opportunity to, just nourish my artwork and really add some to the city in a productive way. So yeah.
Your work has so much energy, yeah, because it really is, it's highly diverse in your application and your media. What other personal or public projects have you created and where?
Oh, outside of Palm Springs?
Yeah, or even within Palm Springs, other than this Ben project.
Oh. It was pretty incredible because since the quarantine happened, I think March, everything kind of shut down. And in June, I started getting calls and referrals for wall mural projects. And it started with one, and then it just kind of took off from there. And I've been doing them ever since, back to back, back to back. And I've been blessed to, be able to create at that magnitude. And a lot of it's sparked from the actual bench project. I think that bench project really put me in the spotlight where, a lot of people saw my artwork and was like, wow, this kid, let's get this kid a shot and see what he can do. So I was able to get my opportunity, and I just gave it my all. And I've been blessed enough to just continue to, just recreate and just keep going and just ride this wave of being able to share my art with the community. So great thing.
Your art and the bench project, there's so much, different, ways to view it, to see it, to enjoy it, because they're all different. What inspired you to take on these icons, and how did you find these ways to express these icons in Palm Springs?
Well, the bench project started with the Palm Springs Public Art Commission, and that was with Ann Schaefer and Russell Pitchart. They had the idea of getting an artist to actually paint 11 benches for a test pilot project for the city, because they were going to actually replace the trash cans and the benches. So they were trying to figure out ways that they can create a way to save money for the city by not replacing all of the benches with the trash cans, just replace some of the trash cans. And Russell reached out to me and had me in mind for the project. So how the icons came about was an idea that was actually the Palm Springs Public Art Commission had that idea to do the icons, and then we came together and created a list of the icons. Some of the icons that were on the list that didn't make it were Elvis Presley, Marilyn Monroe. Who else was on the list? I think Miles Davis was another icon that was on the list. The list was constantly changing as we were actually creating the benches. So it was a collective of myself and the Palm Springs Public Art Commission that came up with the icons for the benches.
Do you have a favorite?
My favorite would probably be, my favorite would probably be Jean-Michel Basquiat. After that, it would be Keith Haring, and then obviously Andy Warhol. Yeah.
Amazing. So in total, how many benches showcase your art?
Well, I created 11, and
wow.
That was in 2019, and middle of the summer. But as an artist, though, you take the opportunity that's afforded to you and you make the best of it. That's why we do what we do, and we love what we do, because that's what it's about. You get your opportunity and you shine. And I created those 11, and that was a test pilot project. So we got a really great reception from the community and the city. So that they passed the rest of the benches to be painted. So fast forward until we get into the pandemic, they started to put together, they got the wheels turning on getting other artists involved. So we went from phase 1 to phase 2 to phase 3. So we were able to hire at least 50 different artists during the pandemic, and to get them to paint the rest of the benches. And we also moved over to the City Hall, the airport, and the convention center, actually. So
when I started to go on an entire tour of the bench project.
Yes. So I had no idea in 2019 that this project would get to the magnitude that it's has gotten to. And it's just an amazing thing to see so many talented, beautiful artists being able to express themselves with so many different, styles of art. So it's something that everybody can enjoy because everybody has different tastes when it comes to the art. So I think it's something for everybody to say, oh, this is my favorite piece, or this is my favorite piece. So I'm just honored and blessed to
Well,
be the one to.
so are we. I did mention that you talk about the Exceptional Community Leader Award. How did that affect you?
It's funny because I never, as an artist, I never looked at myself as a mentor. But it made sense when I looked at my background and some of the things I went through as a young teenager, just trying to find my way and wasn't really sure of myself. My parents always encouraged me, but you just when I was told that artists don't make any money while you're living. That was the narrative. Me growing up in the '90s, so I'm thinking like, why would I have talent I can't use? That was my thinking. Thankfully, I was able to overcome that narrative and understand that I could make money as being an artist. So, with that being said, me going through my troubles as a young teen and just trying to find my way and my value, I think that set me up to be the person that I am. And just so happened that I was talented at art, so I was able to combine the two. And I think that my art serves a purpose more than just something that you can look at in a gallery or appreciate. I think it's a vehicle for me to change lives and reach young men and women that need to be encouraged or understand their value. And that's really what makes me really enjoy being an artist, is that I'm able to impact lives and change people's lives through my artwork.
Well, you definitely evoke a feeling of happiness when we see your art. When I see your art, it makes me smile instantly. And, the world needs a lot of that. And I look at this as being part, and I know Stephen could attest to this, is that when it comes to, we talked about groups, but it's really more about being part of a community. When you're part of a group, you're part of a community, and you're not part of a community of artists that encompass the entire destination. And how lucky are we to have, Tysen Knight as part of that community? Could you express that, in what you would describe as, living here, creating here? What words come to mind about being in this destination?
Words that come to mind. Inspiring, creative, innovative. Those are the things that come to mind when I think of Palm Springs community. But I want to backtrack on something real quick about the community award you touched on really quickly.
Sure.
I was honored to be awarded with the Community Leader Award. It definitely caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it. But it's definitely amazing to be recognized for things that you do. Not that I'm seeking that, but just to be recognized for things that you do. So I just wanted to close that out. I don't think I really closed that out. Question you asked me, I just wanted to make sure I got to that to that point.
No, it's we know that being a mentor, whether you know it or not, your art inspires. It speaks volumes about you as a person and an artist, and it definitely leaves an impression, and always a good impression. So we're glad that your art has made us, has beautified our communities, and we can continue to follow you and the path of of your journey. So Tysen, I can't wait to get out there and talk art with you, and we will soon. We will soon. So if you have any questions for Tysen, I'm going to send it back over to the to Zoom Central with Danae, and she'll have some questions.
Hi, Tysen.
Hey.
I was downtown about a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, and I saw somebody painting one of the benches, and of course, everybody was socially distanced, but it was gathering quite a crowd. People really like to learn what they're doing, and it was really fun to see. And I also have another comment before I have a question. Beth Daniel is on the call, and she wanted to make sure that we mentioned that she loves you. She met you in 2019, and she said you're gifted and have amazing energy. So I just wanted to make sure I shared that with you.
Well, let me say thank you, Beth. I love you as well, and hopefully we can meet again soon sometime. That'll be amazing. Yeah. Appreciate the love. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that.
Question for you. Do you ever experience a creative block? And if so, what do you do to get past it?
Yes, I mean, I do get creative blocks, but I think a lot of my creative blocks come from trying to force creativity sometimes. Like I get to a point where sometimes I overwork, myself, so I have to like bring myself back down. And so when I get creative blocks, what I do is I'll just, I'll just leave the artwork alone for a while and just do, just regular, personal things, just try to balance myself. Because I can get into this rut of just work, art. And I've learned, especially during the pandemic, that you need balance. You need a lot of balance, just in life general. So I think I have to reward myself with that and just understand that it's only 24 hours in a day. I can't just be art all day. I have to balance it out, but still stay on a creative path that's organic and is worthy of my time. So yeah, so I just think it's balanced. So yeah, I get creative blocks. I just do personal things. I just become a human being and just enjoy going outside and just looking up in the sky and just I love people watching and just observing different things and just so yeah, just being just a human being for a moment helps me want creative block. Yeah.
That's good advice, Danae. We need to learn that, right?
Yes, we do. Take it outside, go for a walk.
Yeah, take it all in, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's always a Sunday in Palm Springs, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Every day is a Sunday.
That's
my art. That's my art. I'm a marketing guy.
What's your favorite thing to paint, and who is your muse?
Huh?
This is from.
Well, actually, my favorite thing to paint is maybe comic book characters, and my muse would be, like again, Michelle Basquiat is my muse. But sometimes I get inspired by, I have different muses like Picasso, Mondrian. I have tons of them, but I think Basquiat really just resonates with me the most because I feel as though I have some type of connection to his story and just being, in this art world where you're just trying to find your footing and trying to be the best version of yourself, but still be able to create a culture that people can see and look at and say, oh, I can be like Tysen. I can do that. So it's kind of that fine line of walking that. But I have muses from a lot of different artists. But if I had to pick one, it would be Basquiat because I feel we have some type of parallel in our journeys as artists.
Thank you.
Any more questions, Anne Marie?
No, I think we've got them.